Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel. I appreciate y'all as always. Like the title said, this will be for probably mainly beginners, kind of intermediate. If you've been weathering stuff, little details for a while, I'm sure you kind of got a grasp on what's happening. But when you add details to the details, it just brings the whole layout, your diorama, your dollhouse, anything that you're doing. It just brings that little bit of extra detail that we are trying to mimic in real life, right? But check out this video for what I do as inspiration, right? Check it out. Hey, what's up, y'all? So I am out here with my lovely assistant, Nicole, and I wanted to show y'all what inspires me when I am weathering, whether it's a dumpster or trains or whatever. And Nicole is gonna pull in a little closer because, like, you can see all the rusty and stuff on here, but when you get up really close, you can see like all the little details and all the I'm not going to touch this, believe me, it's really nasty, but all the streaking and all that stuff, I find all of that fascinating to me. And rust grows, right? So like even these little things, you can start taking it off. Rust grows. So we got the weather, the heat, the rain, the wind, all that causes all this to get like it is. And being a modeler, I want to mimic that stuff. So and right here you can see like where the rust has start eating holes and stuff in here, and all down there, the grime. I just love it all. It's really nasty. We're not going to jump in the dumpster because that's kind of disgusting, but I just want to show y'all how I get inspired. And when I look at stuff, I'm looking at everything on here, the weathered color, the dirt and all that stuff. You know, this is all banged and dinged up because of when the truck goes to pick it up, dude ain't never straight, so it bends it, everything. And let's get back to the video. I will show y'all. Peace. All right, so let's model and weather this little dumpster. Here's some of the supplies that I use. A little piece of sponge, some paint from Ammo, also some paint, Tamiya, I'm sorry, the blue one, some paint markers, and I'll try and link all this stuff below as well. But very simple products, nothing that you gotta like spend an arm and a leg with, just enough to get you to where you need to go. I will say paint is probably where you should be spending some, I wouldn't say decent money, but some okay money. You want some paints that have good pigment. Obviously the little acrylic bottles of paint from like Walmart or somewhere like that, Michael's, Hobby Lobby, those will work, but you want some good model paint. Like I said, that has some good pigment that will last through all the weathering we're going to do here, but just over the years while sitting out on your layout, you know, the lights and collecting dust and all that stuff, you know, paint fades. I mean, it may take a while, but you just want some good paint, something that will, like I said, last and continue to look good as the years go on. I am slowly falling in love with Tamiya paints. They say they're acrylic, but honestly, it don't smell acrylic to me. It smells very oily. But man, the coverage that Tamiya does is probably, like I said, I'm falling in love with it really quick. I was using ammo. I use some Vallejo stuff too. Vallejo is probably the next one that I'm very fond of. I do like ammo as well, so don't get me twisted, but a good paint goes a long way. And so here we are with it, you know, quick brush, just brush paint, nothing serious. You could airbrush it, but you know, you got to set up the airbrush. Mine's always stay set up, but I just didn't feel like dealing with an airbrush right now. And so what I'm doing here is that I am taking the little sponge that I had, just a little piece, you know, it doesn't have to be much, because you could mix paints with the sponge too, but I'm using a medium rust. So I had a medium and light rust in that first shot of the supplies, and I'm using medium rust, and I'm just dabbing it on there. At some point, there is no real rhyme or reason, because rust grows the way it grows. There's no set rule of the way rust should grow. Now, there are some laws that it has to abide by, excuse me, meaning, you know, it's going to rust where that paint has chipped, and the weather, the air, and the way it oxidizes, I think that's the right term, the water, where it hits certain things. But as far as the pattern, there is no right way or wrong way. Now, you don't want to have a symmetrical pattern, if that's what I'm thinking about, or like a pattern that's consistent. You want to have an inconsistent pattern when you're doing any type of sponge work, or you're trying to make some marks, because you don't want it to look like it was just constantly done in this repetitive type of way. And then I'm also doing the same thing. I am stumbling today, y'all. I'm doing the same thing with the brush as you would do with the sponge, but because of the sponge, I couldn't get in there correctly like I wanted to, so just use the brush. You can use it if you don't have a sponge, which you can grab from like Home Depot or something. You can use a very thin paintbrush and get the same results. But I'm just using a darker brown to change some of the tones and stuff. And I'm doing the same thing inside too, right? So we just don't want to weather the outside. We want to weather the inside as well. Just kind of showing like, hey, some rust dripped down a little bit. There's also some little pits of rust happening all around. I am struggling talking today. I'm gonna try and get it together so I don't have to redo this voiceover. Yeah. But yeah, I'm painting the bottom because this is where most of the water is probably going to collect and just sit in there, dry up, rust, get wet again, dry up, rust, and it just keeps going through that cycle. Here, I just felt like, now you can take liberties on some of this stuff too, right? Here, I just felt like I wanted to do a really heavy coat of rust right at the top, pull some stuff down, and I'm dabbing it with my finger because I felt like it was just a little too much happening. And so now I'm kind of using my finger as a dulling agent. You couldn't use paper towel to do that same thing, or your finger or whatever. Just, I wanted to pull some of that excess paint off of there. And here is probably a little better example of, most people will probably call this chipping, but I'm creating more little chipped rust effects with the lighter tone of rust paint. Like I said, I had medium rust, some probably dark brown, and now I'm going back over everything with this very light color rust. So it's probably like a new rust, if you will. The darker the rust, the older it's been there for a minute. Y'all know me, everything needs a tag. So I just grabbed some paint markers and put a quick tag on here. There's probably tags on all the sides except the back. I imagine this dumpster being against a wall of some sorts, and no graffiti artist is going to pivot this dumpster around just to tag the back. So, and now we're moving on to oils. Oils, I love oils so much. They're unforgiving, or are they forgiving? They're forgiving, meaning you can do oils any kind of way, right? If you don't like it, you can just get some thinner and start over, you know. But what I'm doing here is I dab some of the oils around, right? And then I loaded my brush up with a little bit of thinner. And now I'm kind of just working that darker oil over, I wouldn't say everything, but closer to the bottom, closer to where like seams are in the dumpster. I want to show some grime and dirt kind of running down from the rain. So I'm pulling some of these oil marks that I put on here. And I'm grabbing the oil again because one, I felt like it wasn't enough. So I want to add more. And again, you know, this is your dream sequence. I got that from my man. He says that a lot, but you can make this however you want to. I know at the beginning I showed like a real dumpster. So me personally, I like to somewhat get close as to realistic and see some reference, but you're more welcome to do however float your boat with you weathering something. And yeah, I'm just kind of still dabbing away at that those oil spots that I put on there until I'm happy with what I got, right? You do you, I'm gonna do me, and somebody else will do them. We'll be all happy once we're done weathering. And honestly, this project is super quick, right? It probably took me longer to set up the camera angles and get all the recording done versus me actually doing this project. If I sit there, I could probably do about 3, maybe 4, possibly 5 of these in like an hour. And it's just a simple project, but it has such a great impact on your layout or diorama or whatever you're doing. And here I'm just adding some random, we could call these 2x4s at this point, but just pieces of wood and trash and stuff to put in there. Just dabbing glue on the bottom, some super glue, and just making them stick in there. And now I'm weathering these 2x4s like they've been in there for a minute. And again, I'm just grabbing my oil, load the brush up with some, I'll probably put a little more thinner on the brush than I did with the dumpster itself. Because I want that stain and that oil to penetrate a little more into that wood. But now we have wood that looks like it's been, you know, through the storm, if you will. It's weathered. It's not perfectly clean in certain areas, but again, it's just that extra step of adding details to the detail. You know, you could put trash bags around here. You could put a dirty mattress next to it. I think I had a door I was going to put and lean it up against here, but I think I was watching Star Trek Discovery or something. I was kind of multitasking, if you will. Although multitasking is not a real thing, but I was doing several things at once. And Star Trek kind of caught my attention. But yeah, you could add anything, right? You can even add more trash into the dumpster. Heck, you can get real creative and honestly make a dumpster fire, like get some LEDs and put at the bottom and some smoke in there or something. And, you know, now you got a trash can on fire. But as for me, I think, you know, this amount and this level of detail is just fine. I'm happy with the way it turned out. And also, you have to understand, when you're looking at stuff on an HO scale from way back, this will serve what it's supposed to serve. Now, if you want to get close up and, you know, I could have drilled holes in the bottom to go even further to show like, hey, that rust did eat through the metal. And I've done that too, but I didn't feel like doing it here. I just wanted to show the basics of weathering a little dumpster and adding details to the details for my beginning people, right? You can see inside here, I added some more dirt. And once it dries up, it'll look like it's been in there forever. And that's the goal. I do hope you learned something and got something out of this. I'm going to close out this video and hit that like button, man. Peace. And yeah, that was me weathering the little HO scale dumpster. Again, this video was mainly for like beginning level type folks. If you're intermediate or a little higher skilled level, hopefully you found some entertainment from watching this video. The goal was always to help people and, you know, show other people maybe a different way of doing something. I never want to crush anyone's pipe dreams or anything, but always use reference. Use real life reference if you can to weather stuff. It helps you see realistic pictures of what something looks like instead of you just trying to guess, oh, a street should go here, or some rust maybe is on this side where moss grows. You know what I'm saying? Like, look at real reference. If you can, get out there and look at pictures, but Google is always free and it's easy just to type in something. With that said, I want to thank my Patreon folks. Y'all are the best. Woo, woo, woo. For real, thank you. I appreciate the support as always. I'll try and have all of the supplies and stuff listed below, as far as the steps also. My Etsy, I have a couple little trucks that I put out there, and they go pretty quick. If you're interested, I tag, put graffiti on the sides of the box trucks, all by hand. So if you want to check some of those out, there's 2 out there left. And yeah, that's it. I've been working on this Helix too, so the next video will be a layout update, and we'll see me struggling. Not struggling, but it's a lot doing that Helix. So stay tuned for that, and I'll see y'all next time. Peace.